Do you know that many women tend to be quiet, try to people please, avoid conflicts, fear arguments and criticisms? They keep their thoughts, feelings, and desires to themselves and struggle with communication breakdowns, which prevents them from having happy relationships that they want. Hello, I'm GraceSOULutions, communication expert. Welcome to Communicates Happily Ever After video series. I will be sharing with you magic phrases that you can use that will help you to deal with communication breakdowns. Now, if you have missed the previous videos in this video series, that's okay. Stay here for now. You can always catch up with the other videos later on. So, as I mentioned, you are the main character in this video series. As you know, in any stories that you read, there is a main character or main characters that go through different situations. So you, as the main character in your story in communication, of course, in the first adventure, we had you dealing with challenges, then we had you deal with opinions or advice, mood, or the emotions, feelings, how to deal with mistakes, how to deal when you're feeling upset or you upset someone in your story, and then when someone is not being funny, and then of course, the last video was about the importance of I, and now in this video, we are going to be talking about complaints, because I am sure that you have had situations where you complained about, or you have had people come to you a lot and complain to you about something. I have had my fair share of complaining, of course, and I also have had people come to me to complain about something or someone. So we have all been there. Either we have complained or we have had people come to us to complain about something or someone. So what to do? Well, I got two magic phrases for you. Okay, so the one magic phrase is dealing with when you are complaining. And then the second magic phrase is dealing with when someone comes to you and complains to you about someone or something. So let's look at the first one. When you are the complainer. So usually when people are complaining, and I know from my own situation when I'm complaining, it's because I'm either feeling disappointed about something or I'm feeling frustrated about something, right? Or about someone. So usually the reason we complain, I'm just going by my experience, it's mostly due to I am feeling frustrated about a situation or about someone, or I'm feeling disappointed about a situation or about someone, what someone said or did. Me as the complainer, I would just automatically talk about my feeling first. So I would start with, I feel frustrated or I feel disappointed because, and then state the reason, or I feel frustrated by this person by what he or she says to me. I feel disappointed by what this person did, whatever it is. So again, in the previous video, I mentioned the importance of I. So we're going to continue using I statements. And in this case, I would state with, I feel frustrated or I feel disappointed, and then state the specific details of feeling that way. Was it a comment? Maybe it's a person, why I would feel frustrated. I feel frustrated with this person. I feel frustrated with my brother, or I feel frustrated with my parents, or I feel frustrated with my husband because he said this, or he or she did that. Whatever it is, but start with I feel frustrated or I feel disappointed, because after all, that is how you're feeling, right? I feel frustrated with, or I feel frustrated about, and you fill in this blank of what it is that you're frustrated, about, or what you're feeling disappointed about. You can be specific about that. Let me back up a little bit. The reason we want you to start with I feel, the importance of I, is being about being in control, right? We want you, because you are the main character in your story. So we want to bring back the control, right? Back to you. So by using I, You're bringing it back, the control back to you. And then what happens when somebody comes to you and complains and about someone or about a situation all the time? It's fine every now and then, right? When your friend or somebody, family member or somebody comes to you and complains about something, sometimes we need to vent. Everybody wants to vent. Certainly I had my fair share of wanting to vent. But when the same people come to you over and over and they're talking about the same thing over and over again, they're complaining about the same thing over and over again, you kind of get bored with it. And you're kind of like going, well, I already gave you some advice, and obviously you either didn't take it or you just took it, but you still want to complain about it. Well, after a certain point, it's kind of like, I don't want to discuss this anymore, right? Nobody wants to keep discussing or keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again. It gets kind of boring. So when someone complains to you, what can you do? Well, you can first tell them, I hear your frustration, or I hear your disappointment about this, because again, it's about validation. The person wants to be heard, right? So you're letting the person know that you hear them by saying, I heard you say you're frustrated, or I hear you say that or feel that you're disappointed, and then list as close as possible to the list that they're giving you and the words that they're giving you. If they're frustrated with a certain person over a certain situation and they're saying, I'm so frustrated with my husband because he never picks up after himself. He always throws his socks on the floor, and I keep telling him to pick it up, but he never does it. He does it for a day or two, and then I have to keep doing it and all this, right? So you can say, I hear you feeling frustrated with your husband because you tell him to pick up his socks, he does it for a couple of days, and then he stops doing it. So then you can follow up with, what do you think you could do about it? Well, what else do you think you could do about it? And I'll make that person think, well, maybe I could do this, or maybe I could do that. So what you basically have done is you have empowered the person, so to speak, into thinking about solutions or possibilities that the person can take. Rather than you giving him or her advice, now you're letting the person think about his or her own solutions that he or she can come up with that might actually help the situation. So now you've actually helped that person by empowering that person to think of other possibilities and options to solving their own situations. So let's recap. So when you are the complainer, right, and you feel like everything is out of control, like 30-minute lunch break is not enough at work, or your boss always says things very abruptly that really just kind of hurts people's feelings, what have you. You could say, I feel frustrated or disappointed with this because of this, right? And then follow up with this question. And what can I do about it? What can I do to improve the situation? You start to think about some things that you can do. And then likewise, the magic phrase is, if someone comes to you and complains to you about a person or a situation, again, you can say to them, I hear your frustration. I hear your disappointment with this person or in this situation, and just list as close to the list and words that the person shared with you. And then follow up with same thing. Well, what do you think you can do to improve your situation? Or what do you think you can do to, solve the issue? And so that way it puts the power back to the person. You're empowering the other person to think of solutions. And perhaps when that person thinks of some possible solutions, they're going to take action on it, right? Rather than you giving advice that they might not take action. But when they come up with something that they think it might work, they're going to take action on it. And then that issue gets solved. And guess what? They don't come to you for the problem because that problem perhaps is no longer a problem. And so they don't need to complain to you about that problem anymore because it got solved. So that's what you can do when you're the complainer or someone complains to you. All right. If you or anyone you know struggle with communication breakdowns or struggles with communicating thoughts, feelings, and desires, then visit my website, GraceSOULutions.com. That's GraceSOULutions.com to book a free 30-minute complimentary session with me. Yes, 30-minute complimentary session with me. Totally free, no obligation whatsoever. This could possibly change your life forever.